Well, here we are in the beginning, one of the biggest recession in the entire history. What can I say? No matter where we live, the world is drowning and we can't do anything about it. Or can we? For sure, I can change the world on my own, but I can prepare myself for the upcoming recession, so you can. Now let me share with you how I would like to secure myself financially and save more money in 2023, and I hope this can also inspire you. Evaluating my financial situation. If I would like to come up with the right strategy, I already need to know in the beginning what I have. Therefore, I will make an evaluation about my current financial situation, which will give me some hints where can I cut back my expenses. I did this a couple of times in the past and it always worked out very well. The basis of my analysis is always the same: the last half year spendings and also income sources. Personally, I like to track my money flow on a daily basis because it proved me many times in the past that I can't remember exactly what I spent money on a few days ago, and this can be a crucial mistake in case of my plannings. By the end of this task, I will have a transparent overview about my spending habit in the last half year. This will be my starting point for the upcoming year, as it will provide me information where can I cut back my expenses, or at least how can I regroup them in a most efficient way. Revising emergency fund. Without a doubt, a recession can be challenging. Working as an online entrepreneur, I can say that companies probably will spend less money, and this can also be true for the end customers. And honestly, this can highly affect my current income, therefore I have to prepare myself for the rainy days. So shortly, an emergency fund is not a question for me, but rather an obligation. Luckily, I already have an emergency fund, but that doesn't mean that it should be enough. The record high inflation consumes all my money, which is sitting on my bank account right now and not invested. Like my emergency fund, which means that the amount what I have saved previously for the rainy days and could have covered my expenses for half a year, now can cover maybe 2 or 3 months because of the increased prices. In connection with my fund, I have only one simple rule: the available amount must be able to cover at least half year of my current spending habit. So I can say the task is very clear here. I will revise how much money is available in my emergency fund at the moment, and I can compare with my actual spending behavior, which comes from my half-year budgeting. In the end, if the saved amount of money as an emergency fund can cover half-year spendings, then I can sit back and relax. However, if this is not the case, then I have to figure out how can I recharge the missing amount, which leads to my next step. Cutting back expenses. At this point, I already have what I need to take further actions. And I can also come up with the right strategy which will help me to save more money in 2023. Now let's see one by one my expense categories and figure out what can I do different in case of saving more money. Housing. I include in this category all kind of costs which are related to our home. Mortgage, overhead, and all kind of occasional costs like painting or buying furniture. So the real question is, how can I cut back expenses in this category? Well, I definitely can save more money on mortgage, therefore I have to move forward and to the next step, which is overhead. Certainly I can use less water and electricity and also not heat up our home too much, but honestly we are living in a small apartment with my wife currently, so this won't save too much for us. But if I move forward to the ad hoc costs, well, most of them can be postponed. At the moment, I can say that all kind of building materials are very expensive, like the workforce. So the best we can do with my wife is to postpone these kind of projects. Luckily, our home is in a good condition. So most of these ad hoc costs come from my wife's taste and how she imagined the rooms and decoration, but I think we will be able to reach an agreement on this part and also save some money. Groceries. A few years ago, we spent a lot on groceries because we never cooked before. We made a few investments in the kitchen and right now cooking became way easier and quicker, so we love to do it a couple of times per week. Therefore, we can save a lot of money on groceries as we don't order food too many times. I think this is exactly how it should be, and I think we should keep this direction in the future. However, checking my half-year spending, I immediately noticed the type of cost which can be cut back in 2023. And these are snacks. I need to admit that we love to eat a delicious cake after lunch or some crisps in the evening hours. But let's be real, none of these are healthy and good options, so I think it's worth to decrease the frequency of buying them. With this step, we will be able to save more money in the future and also make sure that we won't gain too much extra fat, which will definitely serve our health. Transportation. We have only one small engine car at the moment, which is used by my wife quite frequently because she goes to work with it. Unfortunately, train or bus is not an option, so I can say that we can save money on fuel or using our car less frequently. I have to admit that most of the time I consider this type of cost as fixed cost, as we have to spend money on refueling and also maintenance, but honestly we can't do anything about that. From my perspective, I don't spend any money on transportation because most of the time I am sitting at home. Honestly, this part is really bothering me because I know exactly that we spend a lot of money on transportation, but I don't have any idea how should we save more. I reconsidered a couple of times in the past to invest into an electric car, but the payback period is quite long. And we also plan to have a baby in the future, which means that this problem should be solved immediately because my wife will be with me at home. Now I have to accept the fact that there is no smart choice regarding my transportation costs. Therefore, I can do anything to save more money. Lifestyle. I include all kinds of costs in this category which is highly dependent on us, like organizing a vacation, buying some new clothes, or spending money on other free time activities. I don't believe that the right strategy is to cut back all kinds of expenses which are related to this category, because in this case, what's the point of our living? Doesn't matter how much money we save with my wife if we aren't able to enjoy our life. However, she knows perfectly that I like to emphasize the importance, the healthy balance between the expenses and our incomes. As you can see on the picture, we spent a lot of money in this year on vacation. But I already know exactly that this won't be the case in 2023. One of the vacations was our marriage, which is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and the other was our honeymoon. I can already see that these kind of costs won't appear in 2023, and depending on our baby, we might not have the opportunity to organize a vacation, so this remains an open question at the moment. Moving to the next part, which can take out a lot of money from our pocket, is going to the hairdresser, cosmetician and buying some new clothes. These costs mostly affect my wife, and for sure we can cut back some of them, but I don't feel the right to tell her to choose a cheaper option in these kind of categories. If she enjoys the results what she gets from these places, then I am okay with that. Certainly, if I see that she is drastically spending more money on clothes, then I mention it to her immediately, but luckily that was not the case in the past 4 years. As you can see, I also include in lifestyle expenses all kind of medical examinations. But honestly, I never considered them as real costs, but rather investments. So I definitely don't want to save more money on my health. And lastly, the gifts. I think this part can be decreased a bit in the future. Maybe we should buy less expensive gifts for birthdays, but rather look for more creative presents, but this won't happen too often. So that's it. I went through all kind of costs that I have collected in my half past year, and I know right now where I should direct my attention. I already know based on my analysis that I would like to save more money in 2023 on snacks, and also postpone at the same time some of our ad hoc projects related to our home. Maybe these kind of projects can be carried out later when the economy is performing better. Nonetheless, it's worth to mention that we should be more careful with our lifestyle spending. And I have to keep an eye on them because I am expecting further price increases. Now I have completely reviewed for you how I would like to save more money in 2023 and also protect myself against the record high inflation. And lastly, I hope you also got some inspiration from my ideas for your own budgeting. Now it's your time to figure out how you can protect yourself from the upcoming recession and also be able to save more money in 2023. So I hope you enjoyed my video, and if you did, please don't hesitate to subscribe to my channel, hit the like button, and also see you very soon.